Week 4 officially in the books, and this rivalry matchup again goes the way of the Niner gang. Both of these teams now 2-2 with the 49ers taking care of business here, especially in that fourth quarter. A pick six by the defense makes it 24-9, your final score. Stafford threw it 48 times. 19 of those targets did go to Cooper Kupp. They looked pretty one-track offensively. Did LA on the other side get the ball to Debo? 6 receptions, 115 receiving yards, a long receiving touchdown on a short pass from Jimmy G that he did the rest of the work, and got some yardage on the ground as well. But the story of this game, Niners pass rush. 7 sacks of Matthew Stafford and a 24-9 win on Monday Night Football. All right, let's break it all down with the two-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden. B-Mac, I know you love defense. I know you love nasty, and you had to have loved what the 49ers brought to the table in this one. 7 sacks of Matthew Stafford. Sometimes they bring 4, even brought some blitz here. D'Amico Ryans dialed it up on Monday night. How impressed were you by this crew? And, you know, how do they continue to make the most of the guys that they trot out there week in and week out, no matter the opponent?
Well, Joe, I was very, very impressed. Now, the thing about San Francisco defensively, they've been doing this the entire year. But tonight, it was on a national stage. You look at their ability to put pressure on quarterbacks, to sack quarterbacks. The most improving element on their defense has been the secondary play. And we saw that in tonight's matchup. Granted, Cooper Kupp got his, and he gets his every week, right? But when you look at being able to create turnovers and make things difficult for the wide receivers, it was just only Cooper Kupp. We didn't see any Allen Robinson. Nobody else showed up. So Cooper Kupp got his, but it didn't bring any points in. So when you factor in the way they're rushing the passer and how improved they've been in the secondary, my goodness, this could be a star-studded like defense. And get this, Joe, the Rams, they ran 73 plays, offensive plays, compared to 49 for San Francisco. 73 plays, only 9 points. That's unheard of to have that many opportunities with the ball in your hands to only put up 9 points. That tells you how great the 49ers defense was tonight.
Yeah, they keep this Rams offense out of the end zone. Seem to be pretty one-tracked in their offensive approach. In terms of pass plays, 48 attempts for Stafford. Ton of air yardage there, but Cooper Kupp targeted 19 times. So they're going to him early, they're going to him often, but it's not getting him across the goal line right now. Let's talk about a receiver on the other side of this matchup, because Debo Samuel, simply sensational. Again, over 120 all-purpose yards here, gets to the end zone, turns a short pass into a long touchdown. I'll ask it this way, B-Mac. Is there a more valuable offensive weapon, non-quarterback, a more valuable offensive weapon in this game, a guy that means more to his team and can do more for that offense than Debo Samuel?
That's a good question. I mean, I might be a prisoner in a moment, but based on his versatility and how in the different ways they use Debo, I probably would say no. You know what I mean? Because he's a running back. He's a slot wide receiver. You know, he's a guy who lines up at the perimeter. He goes in motion. He's a great blocker. He does everything you would want a football player to do. I say this all the time in regards to guys that play like Debo, that has that football DNA. He's a football player that happens to have a position. That's the thing I love about Debo. And that play right there, granted, Kendrick just missed the ball, but great hand-eye coordination for Debo to come down with that catch, but then to make at least 3 defenders miss, going on for a long touchdown. That's the type of playmaker he is. I mean, he plays the game offensively with a defensive-minded mentality. That's how he attacks the game, with the physical nature in which he plays with. And Kyle Shanahan, those two together is a match made in heaven, because Kyle Shanahan knows exactly how to utilize Debo.
Yeah, he puts them all over the football field, and we talk about guys that look like no fun to tackle. Debo looks like no fun to tackle. He put some pads on Bobby Wagner around the goal line there in the third quarter, and the man gets it done no matter where he gets lined up. In terms of things that might get swept under the rug here on Monday night, this offensive line just lost what many consider the best left tackle in the game. They allowed 0 sacks here against a vaunted pass rush of LA. What's that tell you about the depth in the room, or the standard that they hold there with the 49ers offensive line?
Well, the thing about these two teams when they face off in the regular season, especially in San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan is just always one step ahead of Sean McVay. And we saw that in the game prep. We saw how the game started. We saw that throughout the entire ball game. And then when you transition to the offensive line, they just had a sound game plan in place to make sure number 99 does not get off. So they gave him extra attention, deserving so, and they wanted to force some of the others on the defensive line to beat them. They were not able to do that. So when you look at how well they came up with a scheme to be able to win the battle in the trenches on both sides of the football, just tell you how on point their coaching staff was. And like I said, it's something about the Rams and the 49ers, especially in San Francisco. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is in his bag.
No doubt about it. And here you see the performances in front of the faithful there in Santa Clara. They love some home cooking. Rams and 49ers, here's a look at those matchups with the lone loss coming in that NFC title game, but 7 consecutive regular season wins for Kyle Shanahan and these Niners over Sean McVay and these Rams. Before we go, we do have to talk about Matthew Stafford because he now leads the league with 6 interceptions through 4 weeks. Not great. 3 of those interceptions have come in the fourth quarter. Also gave up a fumble here in the fourth quarter of this Monday nighter. Where are you at right now on Matt Stafford in terms of, your level of concern? I know he just did it last year, got to the mountaintop, but how concerned are you right now with this 4-game sample size that Matthew Stafford's put out there?
I'm very concerned, Joe. I don't want to hit the panic button just yet, but I'm concerned, and here's why. He leads the league in interceptions. That's bad. He's consistently being harassed and hit and sacked. That's bad. I don't know how they can improve their offensive line play based on the guys they have there. Granted, they're dealing with some injuries, but that was one of the bigger concerns offensively for this group going into the season was offensive line chemistry. They lost some guys from last year. Will they be able to replace that production and be consistent? So far, they have not been able to do that. And then for the second straight week in a row, no passing touchdowns from Matthew Stafford. That's the thing. What we saw last year for Matthew Stafford was MVP caliber play. That's what we expected based on his arm talent, the player that he is as a quarterback, and then teaming up with Sean McVay. But right now, he seems to be a step behind. And the only player he has chemistry with is Cooper Kupp. So I am concerned because now when people attack the Rams offensively, they know they can win the matchups in the trenches. And if he doesn't have time, he's not Josh Allen. He's not Kyler Murray. He's not Lamar Jackson. He can't buy extra time. We saw that tonight. So if that offensive line does not improve, it could be a long year for Matthew Stafford in totality based on the expectations we have for him, seeing how successful he was in this same offense a year ago.
Well, they will look to get it sorted out and cleaned up before a Sunday meeting with the Dallas Cowboys that'll be back home in L.A. Mac, man, appreciate it. Hey, Joe. What do you got?
And think about this. The Cowboys, they're another team that can put pressure on the quarterback and sack the quarterback, so it won't get any easier.
Beware of Cooper Rush as well. Bryant McFadden, the best in the business. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
And don't forget, there's more BMAC to be had. BMAC and P2 sitting down with some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment each and every week. It's the All Things Covered podcast, and you don't want to miss it. Download, subscribe, and enjoy today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.